Hey there, it's Matt from Style Factory here, your go-to resource for advice on digital marketing and SEO. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do keyword research. But before taking you through the process, I want to dwell for a moment on what keyword research is. Keyword research is generally about three things: finding out how many people are searching for a particular phrase, establishing how difficult it is going to be to rank in search for it, and getting suggestions for other phrases that it might be easier to rank for. Done right, keyword research can get you a lot of traffic because it lets you identify the queries that are most likely to lead to people visiting your website. So how do you do this? Well, the first thing you'll need is a keyword research tool. Now, there are lots of these available, with Semrush, Moz, and Ahrefs being amongst the most popular. In this video, I'm going to show you how to perform keyword research with Semrush. If you'd like to follow along with what I'm doing, you can grab an extended free trial of Semrush using the link in the video description. Please note that this is an affiliate link, meaning that if you end up subscribing to the platform, we may get a commission. This is at no extra cost to you. If you're using another tool, don't worry. The steps I'm going to take you through will still broadly apply. Okay. So once you've signed up for a free Semrush account, it's time to start brainstorming seed keywords. 1. Brainstorming seed keywords. There are two parts to brainstorming seed keywords. The first involves an actual brainstorm, ideas that you get from the top of your head. And the second is a data-driven brainstorm, keyword ideas you get by using Semrush to find out what your competitors are currently ranking for. Let's look at the actual brainstorm, your intuitive guesses, first. Okay, so if you're good at what you do, you probably know your industry pretty well, and this knowledge can help you come up with an initial set of seed or first stage keywords, words that you instinctively think people will use when searching for the sort of services you offer. Let's imagine that you run a small house cleaning service. You might already have a few seed keywords in mind that people might use when searching for your kind of business. For example, house cleaners, cleaning service, clean house, housekeeping, cleaning, and so on. Now, these phrases will have a high search volume, meaning a lot of people search for them every month. But they are too broad and competitive in nature, and in truth, you are very unlikely to rank for them on day one, especially if you're a new business or one that hasn't previously put much effort into SEO. However, these keywords are still going to form a valuable part of the keyword research process, so keep these phrases to hand. You will need them in a moment. The next thing you need to do is to turn to competitive intelligence in search of more first-stage keyword ideas. To do this, though, you'll need to find out who your competitors are. And the easiest way to find your online rivals is to simply enter the seed keywords you've generated in the previous step into Google. Doing so will return the most relevant search results for your area, with the companies that show up here typically being your biggest competitors. Next, you need to find out what phrases these competing businesses are currently ranking for in search results. To do this, you can use Semrush's organic research tool. You'll find this in Semrush's SEO section under Competitive Research. Simply enter a rival's URL into the organic research tool, and it will immediately return an overview of the top keywords that this competitor is ranking for. Then, click the View All Keywords button to see the full list. Now, you'll usually see quite a large number of search terms here. Ideally, you should review the entire list, but if you're short on time and resources, pay attention to the keywords with the highest search volume. You want to shortlist the juiciest keywords with the biggest potential to drive traffic. As you go down the list, tick the checkbox beside any keyword you're interested in focusing on for your business. And when done, send them to Semrush's Keyword Strategy Builder. This is a feature that helps you manage your keyword lists. Doing this means that you'll be able to refer back to your target keywords easily at any stage. 2. Expand your initial keyword list with keyword suggestions. As a result of your brainstorming and your investigations into your competitors' rankings, you will probably have quite a few keywords to think about, but they might not be the ones you should target. Why? Well, many of the keywords you've just identified are likely to be short, broad, and highly competitive terms. These are typically known as head keywords. Head keywords can bring a lot of visitors to a site, but visitors that might not necessarily convert into paying customers. Just think about the phrase cleaning, one of the words you might have come up with as part of your seed keywords brainstorm. A person entering this into Google might want to open a cleaning service company, read up on carpet cleaners, or research a bunch of cleaning-related services that your house cleaning company simply isn't offering. So, what you need to do is identify and target more relevant long-tail keywords. As their name suggests, long-tail keywords are longer phrases. They'll typically involve a phrase you're hoping to rank for, accompanied by modifier words. For example, apartment cleaning service in San Jose would be a long-tail keyword. Cleaning would be a head keyword. Long-tail keywords generate more relevant traffic, but because they have lower search volumes and are less obvious in nature than head keywords, they are more prone to being ignored by other businesses, and this makes them easier to rank for. So your job is to find good long-tail keywords, and you can use your seed keywords to help you. To do this, you need to use Semrush's Keyword Magic tool, which you'll find in the Keyword Research section of its SEO toolkit. Upon entering a seed keyword into the Keyword Magic tool, Semrush will show you a list of longer tail keywords that you might want to consider targeting. You can use a variety of filters within Semrush to refine the results shown. For example, you can ask Semrush to only show you keywords that are easy or possible to rank for. You can also view a list of questions involving the keyword you entered. Now, by default, the results provided are general in nature, but you can make them more specific to your business by entering your domain into Semrush's personalized data field. This will give you another metric that you can consider, a personalized keyword difficulty score. This is based on how topically relevant your existing site is to the queries being displayed and its domain strength. Have a play around with the options provided and take note of any keywords that seem like a good fit for your business. Shortlist the good ones by sending them to Semrush's Keyword Strategy Builder. 3. Prioritize keywords. At this stage, you'll have a solid keyword list to work with, but it'll probably be quite long. So, your job here is to prioritize which keywords to try to rank for. But how? The answer lies in the keyword metrics that Semrush provides, and the shortlist you've created will contain a lot of these. To decide which of the keywords in your list to focus on when creating new content, you need to pay attention to two key metrics. First, search volume. This metric tells you how many people search for a given query each month. The higher this number, the more traffic you'll potentially receive. Second, keyword difficulty. This metric reflects how hard it is to rank for a given keyword. The lower the difficulty, the better. The keywords to prioritize are the ones that have higher search volume and lower keyword difficulty. It's also important to consider keyword intent. There are 4 types of intent that Semrush highlights beside its keyword suggestions. Transactional intent, where the searcher is ready to complete an action and/or make a purchase. Commercial intent, where the searcher is investigating brands and services. Informational intent, where a user is simply looking for an answer or some general information. Navigational intent, where a user wants to find a particular website, page, or location. In addition to factoring in search volume and keyword difficulty into your decision-making process, you can use these intent metrics to decide which of the keywords on your list are the best ones to focus on. Which intent type works best for you will depend on your business type, but in most cases, it's best to try to identify transactional keywords that have a high search volume but are possible to rank for. 4. Create some great content. By now, you should have a list of keywords that are relevant to your business, generate a good number of searches each month, and are possible to rank for. But these keywords aren't of any use unless they form the basis of some great content. Google's algorithm doesn't just factor in what keywords are present in a piece of text, but how well written, interesting, and relevant it is too. So, your job now is to create some really engaging material for your site that is centered around your priority keywords. Semrush gives you some tools to help you with this in the form of its content toolkit. This includes an AI article writer that you can use to build articles around your chosen keywords. I've dropped a link in the video description to more information about this. Alternatively, you can just write your articles the traditional way. Regardless how you create your content, however, you should always aim to make it clear, compelling, and highly relevant to the keyword you're focusing on. You'll find some links to help you do this in the video description, along with that link to an extended Semrush trial. And that's it, our guide to keyword research. I hope you found it useful. To get more Style Factory SEO content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe or follow wherever you're watching it. And finally, if you have any queries about keyword research, just drop them in the comments. We read them all and we'll do our best to help.